Assalamu alaikum, darlings. I'm Haleema, and this is the Over Tea podcast. I know I skipped last week's episode, but I have been deep into my me time, and I needed a little extra last week, so I skipped the episode. But I'm here today, and today I am sipping on a little something different. It is Cool Mint and chamomile tea from Dunkin' Donuts with a splash of fresh lemon. It's not my usual blend and it's not one of my blends, but I've been loving it so much that I had to share. They're actually two separate teas that I buy by the box and I mix together. I don't know who put me on to this. Somebody did. I didn't just come up with this. I went to Dunkin' Donuts. I think it was one of the girls at Dunkin' Donuts. She was like, "Well, why don't you mix them together? It's the best that way." And I said, "Oh, okay, well, let's do it." And we did, and it's amazing. So if you go to Dunkin' Donuts, slide through chamomile and cool mint together. They don't have lemon, which is why I buy it by the box myself so I can make it at home the way that I like it. This tea feels soothing. And as I prepare to get a little personal, perhaps more personal than I've been on this show, I love it. So here's to a blend that's unexpected yet perfectly aligned with where I am today. I actually wrestled with this conversation for a while. It's one that borders between public and private, or personal and private to me. And I am a private person. I guard my privacy as well. So sharing things that I go through personally, publicly is like, eh, for me. But if there's one thing that I've learned on this journey, it's that sometimes our private battles become the most powerful when they're shared. And so this episode's, my darlings, is about my relationship with food, or rather, the breakup, because that's where I'm at right now. For the past few months, I have been in my own version of Eat, Pray, Love. And I think I've said this before. I'm approaching 40, and while I have spent the past couple of years unpacking trauma, healing emotional wounds, and nurturing my spiritual self, I realized that my journey couldn't stop there. There's only so much mind work and unpacking you can do before the body starts to demand attention. The body keeps score, y'all, and it is real. And for me, I knew that that meant starting with food. The thing that many of us love so good, but it hurts us so bad. Most of us don't realize how deeply we're attached to food. It's not just nourishment, it's emotional, it's cultural, and even ritualistic. Food is tied to traditions, it's tied to celebrations and comfort. And for many, including myself, it became a crutch. We don't often question it, especially when our culture promotes foods that over time are quite literally killing us. I may not celebrate holidays like Thanksgiving or Christmas, but I know the pull of comfort food that comes with these seasons. I see it in all the recipes flooding social media. Heavy, rich, and indulgent foods that have been staples in our diets. And here's the thing, they're not only indulgent, they are dangerous. They're dangerous. Let's talk facts for a moment. Within urban communities, our love for cultural comfort foods, fried, sugary, processed foods, has led to higher rates of degenerative diseases like diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Comfort food, while it might soothe in the moment, slowly erodes our health in a terrible way. In a terrible, terrible way. Think about it. I see people selling platters all the time online. I don't ever see a healthy platter. I don't ever see healthy platters. And when you eat these foods, ask yourself, does it taste good for the moment? And do you feel great after? Or do you feel tired and fatigued and overstuffed after you're eating these things? Like, really take into account how you feel after. Did you know that sugar is one of the most addictive substances we consume? Studies show that sugar lights up the same pleasure centers in the brain as drugs like cocaine do. It's no wonder so many of us struggle to let it go. Sugar's impact on mental and physical health is profound. It contributes to mood swings, fatigue, brain fog, and of course, long-term issues like obesity and diabetes. It is also something that contributes to psychosis, to bipolar disorder, to schizophrenia. People have worsening episodes of these things as they consume more sugar. Is it good in the moment or is it good for you? Comfort foods are the worst. And I don't eat them often, but when I do, I feel physically terrible. And it's not just the sugar, it's the unhealthy fats, it's the processed foods, it's the hidden ingredients in sauces and drinks and snacks. Some of these chemicals that are in processed food, your body doesn't know what to do with them. So instead of eliminating them, it will surround that chemical with fat. It'll produce more fat to protect the body from the chemical because it doesn't know what it is. Think about all of the ingredients that you see on the back of ingredient labels and you don't know what they are. We got to think about it, y'all. We really, 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 really do. These foods become a part of our daily consumption without us even realizing it. But the truth is, we are consuming far more than what we think, and it's taking a toll on us. For me, the journey began with a simple decision to break up with the foods that no longer serve my body. And I'm not here to tell y'all what your nutritional lifestyle should be because that's personal. But I am going to tell you that dieting is not it. There is no one all fits us when it comes to diets and short-term changes in nutrition. Because the reality is we're all unique. What works for one person may be disastrous for another. Diets themselves don't work, but lifestyle changes, they do. Take my experience with sugar for an example. I loved it. I craved it and I found comfort in it. Whether carbs, pasta, I love a good lasagna and my lasagna is mean, okay? I have a great lasagna. Two really good lasagnas, the pastelito and just regular lasagna, okay? And rice, I can eat rice by itself. I don't have to have anything else. I can have rice and vegetables and life it was good. That was good for me. I didn't need anything. But the rice is terrible for your body. Carbs, sauces that have sugars and other hidden things, and hidden sweeteners that are in everyday foods that we don't know about. All of those things I enjoyed, but my body hated them. After doing a sugar detox And that sugar detox, I'm telling you, what you can eat is very minimal. And it was hard even navigating a regular supermarket trying to find what I needed to do for the sugar detox. Once I did it, I felt like I had the flu. Headaches, nausea, fatigue. My body was aching. The withdrawal was very real. But I stuck it out because I knew I had to retrain my body and my taste buds. And slowly I did. I have learned that I love a good Mediterranean salad more than I love a side of rice. I found creative ways to satisfy my sweet tooth with fruits, and not even all the sugary fruits, and healthier alternatives instead of you get using sugary desserts and pastries. And I'm a tea girl, and with tea comes pastries. Like if you give a mouse a cookie, same thing. If you give a tea girl a cup of tea, she's gonna want a croissant or something. So I had to break up with those things. The same goes for fats. I wasn't a heavy butter user, but I've eliminated butter completely, and I replaced butter with healthier options like grapeseed oil and coconut oil. Olive oil is great, and I love olive oil, but my body does not like too much olive oil. I discovered that. But even then, with the healthy things, I've learned that just because it's something that's healthy doesn't mean that it's good for my body. It's all about listening to how your body responds to what you're consuming. The biggest change for me was eating for my blood type. My body thrives on high protein, meat, fish, vegetables, and fruits. I don't do well with grains, beans, or dairy, and I love cheese. So it's very, very hard with the cheese thing. Like cheese is like I give up sugar. I can give that up. Whatever. Forget the sugar. But the cheese, that has been a struggle for me. But it is not, my body does not respond well to dairy. It just doesn't. And this approach has been a game changer for me. I feel more energized. My digestion has improved, and I've gained clarity about what works for me. It's easy to get caught up in trends like vegan or vegetarian, keto, low carb. But the truth is, no one diet or nutritional lifestyle is right for everyone. You have to pay attention to your body. It will tell you what it likes and what it doesn't like. There are some blood types that being vegan is terrible for. And people are wondering why they're eating all these fruits and vegetables and they're not getting the results that they're looking for in terms of their health. And it's because they're not eating what is good for their bodies. Listen to your body. I had to start from scratch after the sugar detox. I went on an elimination diet. I started with categories of fruits and vegetables to see how my body responded. Then I slowly, and I'm still in this phase of incorporating meats and what meats I do and don't do well with. I'm still new to this. I'm still in the beginning stages. I'll let you guys know how it goes. But that's where I'm at. Just because a food is healthy does not mean it is healthy for you. Take the time to learn what fuels you best and don't be afraid to experiment. I have discovered all kinds of amazing, healthy recipes that I love and my body loves. I am a girl that loves a good hearty soup. I have learned that my body does not like a whole bunch of starchy vegetables in said soups. So I have cut back on the starchy vegetables and added non starchy vegetables into my soups. And that has been so much better for me. I haven't eliminated all of the starchy vegetables completely because you do need starches. There does need to be balance, but I'm very meticulous about when and what I eat. The other day I made a roasted plantain and coconut ice cream from scratch with no sugars added. And when I tell you I loved it and my body loved it, we both loved it. And it contained starch because it had the plantains and banana. But it was amazing, and I didn't feel crazy after I had it. I felt good. As a clinical herbalist, my relationship with herbs has deepened on this journey as well. Like food, herbal remedies are not one size fits all. Just because an herb is good for one ailment doesn't mean it's right for everyone. You have to understand your body, the current environment of your body, and the property of the herbs, the actions, the constituents, the dosages, all of those things matter. I always advise consulting with a practitioner when using herbs because just like pharmaceuticals, they can be powerful and even dangerous when used incorrectly. They are medicine. Don't get it twisted. A lot of pharmaceutical drugs come from herbal substances. They just eliminate parts and chemicals from these substances or these botanicals and herbs to make the pharmaceuticals, and they add additional chemicals into them. Whereas the herb itself, the whole herb heals. We're not going to get into that conversation. Just please, y'all, when it comes to herbal medicine, the way that you wouldn't take a whole bunch of prescription drugs, not knowing whether they interact or do well together or are going to help you or make a problem worse, don't do the same thing with herbs. Go to somebody that's educated, that knows what they're doing. Don't put your body through torture and possibly do damage that's irreversible because you decided to watch a TikTok video and use an herb that has now caused many people kidney and liver failure. It happens. And those are the stories that we don't see plastered online, but they are happening in real time. I've seen them, I've heard them, and I've had to help people that have experienced them. So that is my Haleema's corner moment of the podcast. But interestingly, back to this journey that I'm on, the more I refine my nutrition, the less I rely on certain herbs. My body no longer needs the herbs I once used to balance deficiencies caused by my poor nutrition. The breakup with my old eating habits has brought my body more balance and me more clarity and vitality. It's a beautiful space to be in. So, where is this journey heading? Well, there are still parts of it that I'm navigating, and maybe, just maybe, I'll share more next season. There are topics I haven't touched on yet, areas of health and wellness and personal growth that I'm still exploring. And I'm thinking of bringing on some special guests to dive deeper into these discussions. But for now, I'll leave you with what I do know. The journey to healing is ongoing. It's messy. It is deeply personal and private, and it is deeply transformative. I'm still in the early stages of learning and of listening to my body and making choices that will align with who I'm becoming. So, as we wrap up this season 1 of the Over Tea podcast, I want to thank you all for being on this journey with me. Your feedback, your love, your support means the world to me. The tea may be different today, but the intention of this podcast will always remain the same: growth, healing, and community. The website is still active. The tea is still going to be brewing with no pastries. And although I'm very quiet in this season, I'm still here. I am still present. So let's continue this conversation on Instagram at Over Tea Podcast or on the website overteapodcast.com. I promise y'all I am going to be more active on the social media. I have not been in the social media world for a couple weeks now, and life has been a vibe. Okay, I'm still struggling with some things, but living in real life is much different. I haven't missed the social media world, but I'm going to be more active and interactive with you. And I'm going to put these teas on this website. I keep saying I'm going to do it and I haven't done it yet. I'm going to do that. I'm going to give myself a week, 1 week. Give me a week, y'all. I'm going to get these teas up there. And cheers until next season, where we might just take this conversation to a whole new interactive level. Surprise, surprise. Assalamu alaikum.